Conducive solution, right? How we can tackle vulnerability, how we can ask the public to fund the police service more so they have more resources. They're not cut, right? That's where the solution and everything begins. But let's be honest, Tommy Robinson, he doesn't care about the victims. I'm gonna say this for the
Okay, so this is a response to my biggest fan, Mr. Sophistry. Sophistry just means somebody that can come across as quite articulate, uses long, elaborate words, and can be quite calm and collected. But what they're really saying is pretty much garbage. It's just that their demeanor and the way they portray themselves kind of mask over uh, their lack of substance in terms of their argument. Now, the thing about this particular guy, Mr. Sophistry, it's like like he's my number one fan. So what I'm going to do today for you, as my number one fan, I will do a video response for you. So I hope you're happy with that, because it seems that you can't keep my name out of your mouth. Wherever I've seen like three videos now where you're talking about me specifically. My name just keeps on reoccurring in your mouth. Not sure why I've managed to infiltrate your mindset so badly, but I'm there, so I'll take all fans, including yourself, even though I don't like you. So what I'm going to do is, what was wrong with that particular sentence that you were saying? Because, like I said about sophistry, what he's saying sounds quite reasonable. Now listen to it again, but I want people to start understanding what I mean about sophistry. So listen to this again and try and figure out what is wrong with
came up
this.
with conducive solution, right? How we can tackle vulnerability, how we can ask the public to fund the police service more so they have more resources. They're not cut, right? That's where the solution and everything begins. But let's be honest, Tommy Robinson, he doesn't care about the
Okay, so he's mentioned how to tackle the problem of grooming by tackling vulnerability. Tick one, giving resources to the police. Tick two, great. So this is sophistry in the making. So what is missing from this solution to tackle grooming? Um, Tackling the vulnerability of the girls. One, yeah, we've got that. Number two, giving resources to the police. I wonder what is missing from this particular kind of holistic solution that you need to implement in order to tackle grooming. What is missing? Can people write down at the bottom what is missing? The perpetrators, the rapists, the groomers. In every argument or debate that he has, he will purposely leave out the perpetrators. His whole solution to this is blaming the victims, blaming the police, and not blaming the perpetrators. This is why I call him a something apologist, because every single conversation I've heard or debate, he doesn't tackle the real core issue, which is if you had a list of, if I said to you about grooming, most people would say, what is the problem with grooming? How do we tackle it? All right, everyone would probably say, I'd say, what's number one? The rapists. Let's tackle those guys and figure out why they're doing it, and to imprison them, and to try and stop them, and figure out what community is doing it and why they're doing it, and go after those particular people. Then you would say vulnerability, probably, yeah, trying to figure out how comes the girls are being attacked, and then the police. Now, what is happening with this particular guy, Mr. Sophistry? This is why I'm talking about sophistry, because he's making an argument, yeah, that seems relatively reasonable when you listen to it, but it's baseless, because the base of his argument or his solution should not be the girl's vulnerability, but the perpetrators first. So that's baseless. So, Mr. Sophistry, I hope you can learn from this that, apologizing for conduct that is, savage in nature, is not the way forwards. Yeah, you need to tackle them first, the savages, the rapists, and then you go for the vulnerability, and use a holistic approach. So I'm gonna really, really kind of like make you lot understand why I'm not going to speak to this guy, because one of the things he did say, which I agree with, he said, what did he say? He said, I've got no shame talking about my relatives grooming at Speaker School. And guess what? I agree with you now, because I didn't have no shame, because I thought talking to you and talking to certain people would be a constructive, productive way of trying to reason with people. But now I understand, that there's no point, because you've got no shame. Like, there's no point. Forget about talking to people like you. I can do it this way, and I can do it with people in a more productive manner. I'm just shaming myself and embarrassing myself by talking to you, because people like you are just apologists. And I'll explain to you why this guy is probably one of the most disingenuous people I've met. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm not saying he's stupid, even though he's called me an idiot quite a few times in his video, indirectly. And what I'm going to say is that he's a hypocrite. Yeah. One thing people I say here is I hate people that are hypocrites, because in the sense that they don't even know they're hypocrites. I know sometimes I can be a hypocrite, sometimes I can be selfish, and this is why I dislike myself a lot of times as well, because I'm a human being. But people like this think they're angels, and the sun shines out their ass, and they can't do no wrong. Now I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna give you a quick breakdown of who Mr. Blacked is. Remember the word blacked on his cap here. Always remember the word blacked on his cap, because this is going to come into play in a little while, yeah, with my evidence on who this guy is. First of all, this guy I thought just came to the park recently, but he hasn't. He's been to the park before in April, and he met Bob the Builder. And this is when looking at old videos and realizing, oh, it's him, Mr. Blacked, or Mr. Sophistry. And if you listen to this,
of the British government, a treatment of Christian refugees that is less favourable to them than to Muslims.
We're not going to play the victim card. You're playing the victim card with a black man.
You're playing the victim card with a black man. Already we understand, just from that particular sentence, that this guy is a victim. He hates white people. This is the brunt of his issue. It's not about grooming. It's not about Tommy Robinson. It's not about me. It's not about this. He hates white people. And I'm going to prove it to you through just a few little things that will show that he has a real animosity towards white people. And so any group that is against the particular white Christian population, he will side with. And you can see even his own black brother in this video was like, no, you can't use that.
Do you notice how he's trying to play the black card? He's trying to play the black card.
Yes, Bob, he's trying to play the black card. And even his own black brother is saying, no, you can't use that.
Do you want me to reply?
I want to ask you a question now about Islam. You want to ask me a question? Yes, I want to ask.
So they're talking about Islam, and he starts going on about race. Yeah. Now,
You're telling me that Christians abroad, the treatment of Christians abroad is the same as the treatment of blacks abroad.
That's fine. But I was making no one was you tried to play the race card. You got called out by your own brother.
yep, you tried to play the race card. Now, this is important because one of the things about a lot of people, even from the Asian community and the black community, they have a chip on their shoulder, they have an inferiority complex, and they can't understand like somebody like me who hasn't got an inferior complex. I'm a human being, they're a human being, they know better than white people, I know better than me. I've met people that are white, like completely stupid and savage, and I've met someone that is extremely intelligent. So, and even the word savage, people are saying I'm racist for saying savage. I call white people savages as well. Anybody's a savage, as long as you're behaving in a crazy manner. And so, this guy has a huge chip on his shoulder about white people, and he has a hatred for white people. But he tells me that I have a hatred for Muslim people. Can you not see the hypocrisy? My people from the Indian subcontinent have also suffered by the Islamic conquest, who happen to be brown people. Over 800 year period, 150 million people were put to the sword. That is a lot of people. So maybe I can go around and start saying, oh, I don't like white people. You have a chip on your shoulder about white people. I have a little bit of my chip on my shoulder about the Islamic conquest as well. Now, the difference between me and you is that, I'm not condemning you all the time saying, oh, you can't have you can't be upset about this particular thing, but you're telling me that I can't have no hate in my heart and stuff like that. When you have hate in your heart, you're a hypocrite. Now, one of the things that he does, it's so overtly antagonistic, is this. Remember, let's have a look at this. He's Cap, yeah? I'm going to play something just so that you understand what this Cap is about. Now, it says the word black on there, and he's been wearing, this is just recently, and this is from April, yeah? So let's go to April, and you see the word black. Yeah, the word black. You can see it, yeah, blacked. Now, you might think and look at that and go, oh, that's very, it's just nothing. It's just kind of like, it's just a word. But let me just show you. Now, I apologize to people. I'm not showing porn, but I want to show you what the nature of this particular word blacked means. Now, have a look at this, yeah? Now, what does it say in the bottom? Blacked, yeah? This is a porn site, yeah, called Blacked. And what it is about black men dominating white women in front of their boyfriends. So you have this and a white woman, and it's called Blacked. Yeah. Now, what has he got in his particular thingy? Blacked. Now, you then go here. What does it say here? This is a very kind of, sorry about this, guys. I'm not trying to, like, any Muslim's going to get triggered and have a kind of, let's say, frothing at the mouth. Sorry, Muslims. I know you can't control yourselves. So you got Blacked again, and this is another porn site. This is the same porn site, and it's about white women being subjugated by blacks. Now you may be saying, "Oh, I'm kind of, making a big thing out of nothing." Not really, because that particular hat it encapsulates the way he thinks, because he has a massive chip on his shoulder about being black and that the white people, he doesn't really like white people, and so what he is doing is wearing the blacked as a kind of an undercover way of insulting the white people, yeah, without them even knowing. They don't even know, a lot of them. It's only people that might. I'm not going to say how I know about it, sorry, but somebody did tell me. But I did think about it. I did see. I was like, all right, that's a bit weird. And the thing is, one of the things he's done, and I've heard him say it 3 times now, publicly, is if you listen to this. What the hell is it? Sorry. I think he says he has a.
Like, it's dangerous, obviously, to paint all white people the same way, kind of like white people.
Oh, God. Oh, sorry, I'm going to find it afterwards. So basically, he's. I'm kind of lost.
Right? The reason that is because back my property value.
So basically, I can't find it now. I'll have to show it later. I'm a bit annoyed about that. But basically, he mentions his white girlfriend quite a lot. He's got a white Irish girlfriend, and he's mentioned it in the live stream, and he's also mentioned it in this particular video. Unfortunately, if I can find it afterwards when I go through it, I'll find it. And that's important. For him, I think his white girlfriend's like a trophy. And people might say I'm being personal. I'm not. I'm trying to analyze his thought process. And he goes on about his white Irish girlfriend, and he wears a black hat. He's got a victim card mentality in terms of he thinks that, he's being persecuted by the white people, and so he will go with any group that is gonna go against that particular the white group. So let me just show you a few other things. So if you look once again, if I go to one of the things, and so one of the things is actually he lies as well. So if you look, go to 1040 here. Now this is to you, my number 1 fan, Mr. Sophistry. You say this.
In the sense that, same with Raj, I will prove him wrong time and time after getting this path. What will he do? He will go home, make a video about how he hates me, this and that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm a grown adult. I don't
actually watch all this stuff.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it, and it's just like,
I can't. But
spend a whole hour thinking, okay, I'm gonna get something beneficial from this.
Yeah.
You get like maybe 2 lines and 2 points. You think,
I understand.
time.
To discredit someone, you need to watch them in their entirety. I know. For me personally, I used to watch these videos, and it inflame my heart.
So I used to inflame his heart. Uh, inflame his heart. I'm glad I've managed to kind of, inflame your heart. It sounds quite painful. Not sure why I'm so important in your mindset that I'm inflaming your heart over it. Once again, probably sophistry. He's trying to sound, like he's some kind of poet. In reality, he's just saying that I'm a pain in the ass. But instead, he has to say he's inflaming my heart. Just say what you mean. That obviously you don't, really like me. So if you go to like, I should have really shown this first actually.
My
But
only problem is Raj will find everything from my hat to my pants to my jeans. He will find, he'll find reason for everything.
all right, your hat, your jeans, and your clothes. Find me one video, one sentence where I've said anything about your clothing on your body apart from your hat. You're making it out as if I'm going around critiquing you as like I'm critiquing like a fashion model. I don't care what you wear on your body. As you can probably see, I just put on what I like to put on. I don't care what people think. But when you're wearing a hat that is so provocative, that is saying black, to people that know what it means should pull you up on it, because you know what it means. It means that it's a porn site, that is particularly aimed at showing black men subjugating white women and having sex with them. And so, when I see that, it sends out a message to me that you have an issue, or want to send out a message about your particular mindset. That you're doing it very subtly, but obviously you have an issue with white people, which is why you're wearing that particular hat. Now, if you go here, 154. I know I'm giving him a lot of time. I shouldn't really. I'm not going to speak to him when I see him, though. That's
Some
the
of it
thing.
was to do with online grooming, right? Yeah, majority of it was to do with online grooming, not street grooming. But the problem is that we need more brothers out there who, when these idiots come to the park and they
Yes, idiots. You're probably referring to me, obviously. And you're also saying that the CEOP study from 2011 was talking mainly about internet kind of child abuse or stuff like that, and not really about street grooming. Now, why would they be talking mainly about internet child protection? Why do you think in a CEOP study from 2011? Ask yourself this question. Why would they be talking or studying that more than street grooming? Have you got an answer? Well, the reason being is because in 2011, there was only one real case that went to court, which was the Rotherham one. Nearly every single other case that went to court after 2011 was it like in 2012, 2013, 2015, the Oxford, the Rochdale, and all of these other particular cases was after 2011. And so obviously they were going to concentrate on something that at that particular time in 2011 wasn't so prevalent in terms of conviction rates. So you keep on going back to 2011, obviously, because it suits your narrative. You don't want to take into account any of the other hundreds of cases of people being convicted after 2011. Obviously, because it goes against your narrative again. And you'll also say something about names. Let's have a look. 236. Now this guy here, I don't really. I know I've heard his brother. He seems okay, but I can't really judge. I've met people that I thought were okay on video, but then completely hate them in real life. So I have no clue whether he's alright.
Name of a person who's no longer Muslim. You have him standing there and he's arguing, okay, we know that the people were Muslim because of their names. His name was Muslim and he's not a Muslim, and it was ridiculous.
Here's the problem. My name is Rajiv.
So they're talking about the names, that you can't judge somebody being from a particular religion because of their name. Fair point. Give you that. But could I assert that if I had 100 people and their names were Muhammad, this, and they all had Muslim sounding names, could I assert that maybe 70% of them would be Muslim. Would that be okay for me to, think to myself that 70% will be Muslim? Is that reasonable? Maybe 10% are apostates. Maybe 10%, 10 of them are Christian. The other 10, it could be whatever. So to say that, you can't judge like 256 convictions or whatever it is of Asians and their particular names are from Muslim backgrounds. You can say, all right, you can't judge all of them. But the same way you can't tell me that all of them are not. There is going to be a high proportion in probability that the people with names like Imran Hussein or Muhammad this, there's a good probability that they are from a Muslim background, and so now this is another thing that shows that this particular individual is just very, very kind of, he's a victim, constant
I
victim.
think we still have that mental, they call it like post-traumatic slave, whatever, right? But we still have that thing where we give them the benefit of the doubt. We give them more grounds than we give ourselves. We can make mistakes, and people will say he's discredited for life.
So he's got post-traumatic slave syndrome. Don't really know too much about it. I'm not going to say whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it does show that he has a mindset of being somebody that is still upset, or which you can be, obviously, if your ancestors were, I don't know what his ancestors were, whether they were Jamaican or from America, or whether they're just from Africa. I don't know about his background, but it does show that he does have a problem in terms of saying post-traumatic, meaning that he's traumatized by something that is still affecting him today. So that is going to cause you to have issues with a particular group, would it not? And so, if you go to 1035.
And this is what I want to speak to certain corners of Speaker's Corner about is, why are we allowing white supremacy to rule? In the sense that, same with Raj, I will prove him wrong time and time after getting this path. What will he do? He will go home, make a video about how he hates me, this and that.
Yes. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to give you food. I'll do videos about you because you're my fan, obviously. You're speaking about me again. And I'm speaking about you. So maybe, at the end of the day, I'm in control of this situation. I decide whether I talk to you, whether I don't, and I decide whether I make videos about you. And the thing is, you heard what you said. He's saying allowing white supremacy. So once again, he has this mindset of white supremacy. And I keep on saying to you, this is the biggest problem with this dude. He has an issue with white people, and whoever is obviously on the other side, he will side with. Now, one of the things is that, I've always thought to myself, oh, he does sound like he's kind of like, almost like a Muslim. Yeah. And I've thought he was a Muslim because he defends Islam so much. But listen to this.
I'm yet to be a Muslim.
I'm yet to be a Muslim. Listen to that. That's not, I'm not a Muslim.
And then he's like, oh, you're not a Muslim. And I'm like, no, I've said it on various times on camera. I'm yet to be a Muslim. In future, it's possible. But as for now, I've never labeled myself a Muslim. I don't know.
Yeah. So when someone says, I'm yet to be something, there's a strong connotation there that there is a chance that you will be. I don't say I'm yet to be an astronaut because I have no particular qualification to even get to that place, so I wouldn't say that, I know it's never going to happen. I wish it could. I can get away from human beings, for God's sakes, and live by myself on Mars, like that particular drawing here. Yeah, I'd love to go to Mars. So yeah, obviously he's has sympathy with Islam, and it really shows in this particular video from April with his particular what I call when he's trying to justify the unjustifiable. I don't like doing this because Shamsi's in here. I like Shamsi, so I apologise, Shamsi, but unfortunately you're in the video, but I'm critiquing him. And this is actually about the age of Aisha. And I try not to talk about this because it's such a hot topic. But they're talking about age and how age changes over time. And listen, look how happy he is.
My question to you is: Do you agree? Do you agree that Mohammed has? Do you agree with Mohammed having sex with a 9-year-old child?
That's this subject.
I just wanted to ask him. I wanted to ask him if he knew the context as to why child abuse is actually a thing and why we instated laws. Yeah.
This subject, look, it's a very sensitive subject.
And it's a very
And
sit
you know
down
why now they're
subject.
talking about it?
Yeah.
Now they're talking about it because the West have changed the law.
Thank you.
So what the West are
Thank
doing?
you.
So what he's doing to
So did you see that? He doesn't just like, you know, go thinking about, look at his hand.
I just wanted to ask him. I wanted to ask him if he knew the context as to why child abuse is actually a thing and why we instated laws. Yeah.
This subject, look, it's a very sensitive subject.
And it's a very
And
sit
you know
down
why now they're
subject.
talking about it?
Yeah.
Now they're talking about it because the West have changed the law.
Thank you.
So what the West are
Thank
doing?
you.
Look at that. He's so ecstatic about that particular kind of argument that Shamsi made. Now, I like Shamsi, but I can't agree with him on this situation at all. And this is the thing about this particular Mr. Sophistry. Even when you watch the live stream with Jedi, he actually in the beginning had everyone on his side with his sophistry and soft speaking manner, and I was ranting and raving like a lunatic because I get impassioned about that particular subject, which I'm not gonna anymore. I'm gonna stay calm if I can. But even they started turning their backs on him because he was starting to he's an apologist. So even for a paedophile, well, everyone knows paedophiles are sick people that they cannot really be rehabilitated in that sense. They have an inclination towards kids. They can't rehabilitate them in that sense. But he was trying to. He's got a lot of sympathy for them, and even the live streams turned against him and like, what? This guy is like, you know, you're a sounding suspect, dude. And for me, I think he has a very weird moral compass. I'm not sure what it is. I do know he dislikes white people. There's no doubt about that. Because if you listen to this bit here about Anjem Chowdhury, now when you think of Anjem Chowdhury, what do you think of? What do you think of? You think of a ISIS supporting lunatic who wants the death of the UK and the West. Now listen to his
To me, that's a noble
description.
cause, because no one agrees with the war on terror. No one agrees with the merciless amount of death that happens in the Middle East. But for some reason, for the last decade, we've been super quiet on it. But as soon as he then starts rallying people forward, saying that we need to get the
He's
government
talking about Anjem Chowdhury.
accountable for the wars and the travesties that we now know they had no evidence of weapons of mass destruction, he's a terrorist. Tommy Robson can come to this park with his football hooligans, chase the police down the street, destroy the property, rack up 10 million.
So he doesn't mention the fact that Anjem Chowdhury supports Jihadi John, supports the ISIS terrorists that have been beheading people and executing people. Anjem Chowdhury supports all of the terrorism that's happened in the UK, including the Manchester bombing and all that kind of stuff. All he can kind of go upon is that, oh, he's the same as Tommy Robinson. He's so fixated with whites that he will excuse anything that anybody who is not white and is against the whites will side with them. And this is the problem with this particular dude. He's totally disingenuous. He is quite dangerous in some ways because he's giving people a false understanding of things. And, you know, that can be dangerous as well.
4% of groomers are Asian. It's a lie. It's false. Even the area of research that you received it from is false. It's repeated again and again.
Of course.
I just don't understand. There has to be more just people.
So the 84% is false again. The CEOP study from 2013, not 2011, showed that 75% of type 1 street groomers who go for vulnerability were from an Asian background. Yeah, that was in 2013. By the time the Quilliam report happened, all of the major cases of Oxford, Rochdale, and all of these particular telephone were then put into the numbers, and they come up with an 84% figure of Asian, or what you would call from Muslim backgrounds or Islamic backgrounds, or from that particular community. Now, what can you not understand about those particular figures? It doesn't make sense to me unless you have an ulterior motive that you are trying to discredit those figures so that you can make yourself feel better and maybe kind of demonize white people and say they're all racist. That's the only reason why they are attacking the Muslim community in terms of the grooming, not because there is a legitimate concern and a problem going on that Sikhs have been fighting since the 80s. Instead, it's the white racist man who is demonizing the Muslims.
They do to us, because right now it's we have to come with 3 times the amount of facts. They have to come with 1. That's not how rationality works.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I wasn't sure exactly what I was supposed to be doing there. Oh yeah, this is. I'm going to leave it now on the last bit, which is quite funny. Have a look at this. She will always say this to me, and it's very, very. It's probably the biggest backhanded compliment you could get. Now listen to this. Listen to this.
Nonsense. I know it gets hits and stuff here, but there's only so much emptiness you can watch. You understand? Like, you're watching Raj's videos, you're not benefiting from your time, you understand? And he's a lovely guy, I'm sure, you know, but he's just...
Dude, I'm not a lovely guy. I'm a complete a-hole, and I will be an a-hole because that's the only particular way that I can get my message across to you guys. I'm not gonna be Mr. Nicey Nicey. If you don't like it, tough shit. I am a nice guy sometimes.
Stick to the drawings.
Stick with the drawing. So they always say
Drawings
that.
were amazing.
Thank you for the compliment. They said my drawings are amazing.
The drawings were good. Stick to that. Don't come here and start spewing
Can I
right
just say
wing.
something?
So yeah, this drawing's still being done. I added a little bit more detail in the corner. Yeah. I see Mr. Black didn't actually refute that. Remember the other video when he was laughing at me for doing artwork? Do you know what's so strange? This guy hasn't said one single word about laughing at my artwork anymore. I wonder why. Remember how he was laughing? I wonder why he doesn't say anything anymore. I wonder why. I wonder why he doesn't mock my artwork anymore. You know, this is one of the things about jumping the gun, about, you know, assuming that somebody, you know, when they're talking about art or something, that it's just a scribbled on a piece of paper. All I'll say is this, Mr. Sophistry, I don't hate you. I have nothing against you. You're insignificant to me. You're somebody that, you know, is just somebody I'll be passing in my lifetime. You know, I'll probably never think about again in, you know, a couple of weeks. All you are is somebody that is a hypocrite who hates white people but tells me I hate Muslim people. Somebody that apologizes for, deals with everything, speaks about everything about grooming apart from the perpetrators. In every conversation I've heard from you, you have not once mentioned the perpetrators. It's always the girls, it's always the police, and it's always you're the victim, or the Muslims are the victims, or the perpetrators are the victims. You also wear this black hat, which is also obviously quite provocative to people who know what it means, because you have an inferiority complex over white people, to do with white people. So the way that you are playing this out is by wearing the black hat, telling people you got a white girlfriend, constantly complaining that you're a victim and that, you know, there's racism all over the goddamn place. Instead, maybe it's just that, you know, you're just not good enough and people don't like you. Have you ever thought about that? You know, maybe it's just that, you know, blaming race all the time on your shortfalls is not the way forward. The way you beat your oppressors, yeah, this is one of the biggest things that people don't understand, is to be better than them. You know, surpass them in everything. Yeah, if you look at the Sikhs on the Punjab, we were oppressed for 300 years. Yeah, by the time we hit the 18th century, we were ruling over the Punjab, and 75% of the population was Muslims, who at one point were ruling over us. Yeah, and guess what? It feels great. It feels great to just surpass your oppressor. So if you've got such a big problem with white people, stop being a victim, yeah, and just put your head to the ground and start to work and try and better yourself. Instead of going around Speaker's Corner, whinging and being a victim and telling me to be quiet about a subject matter which is affecting my community, the Sikh community, and not yours. Anyway, I hope I do see you, because I will blank you. And, obviously you'll be calling my name out and saying, Raj, please talk to me. Please, Raj, talk to me. If I do, then, that will be by my own mercy. Whether I feel that, you're... I might have a spare second during the day to talk to you. Maybe a second. We'll see. Obviously, I'll give my time to my fans. Anyway, take care.